Okay, we got to do this. We're getting back to weight loss basics, and here with her beginner's guide to losing weight is Dr. Melissa Hershberg. There you are. And Weight Loss 101, I requested this. I'm so glad we're doing this, is how to read a label. How many of you read labels when you go to the grocery store? Okay. How many of you pretend you know what you're doing? Okay, that's good. And that's where you go, okay. See, I read them and I go, where's the sugar? And I look at that. But there's more to it than that.
I mean, there's tons of information on the food label. But first, like, this is just decoding it 101.
Right.
Okay, so first off, you have to look at the serving size. It seems obvious, but you'd be surprised if they try to trick you. So this is good. It says per container. Sometimes, if you're eating something, it'll say per half a container or for half a bar. Well, if you plan on eating the whole thing, you need to double the information on the label. So that's number one.
So you really need to pay attention to that.
Yeah, pay attention to the serving size, okay? Next, you want to look at the calories. Now, contrary to what people have been trying to convince us of, calories do count. They really do matter, especially when it comes to weight loss.
Right.
So look at how many calories are in the portion that you're going to eat.
Right.
Okay? Calories provide us with energy. They fuel our body. That fuel comes from 3 macronutrients: fat, carbohydrates, and protein. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay.
Now, there's different types of fat, saturated, we're going to discuss all that. And with carbohydrates, like you pointed out, you want to look at sugar.
Yeah, sugar's the big thing. And sometimes they tuck it in there, you know?
Exactly.
But it's a really important thing, right?
So a good thing to look at is here the percentage of daily value.
Yeah.
Anything under 5% is low. Okay, so ideally you want to aim for that sugar to be under 5%. Anything above 20% is high.
Okay, very good.
Okay?
And that's, again, read that before you start. Okay, so let's talk about how many calories you need to have to lose weight.
Yeah, so calories are important. They fuel our body.
Yeah.
And if we eat too many calories, even if they're healthy calories, we'll gain weight. If we eat too few calories in a day, even if they're unhealthy, we'll use our own fat stores, break them down, and that's how weight loss occurs.
Yeah.
So how many calories you need depends on lots of factors: your age, your sex, your activity level, how tall you are, how much you weigh. So there's a lot of good online websites, or you can apps that you plug in your information. It will tell you how many calories you need in a day. Typically, the average size man needs about 2,000 to 2,500 calories in a day to maintain his weight.
Yeah.
The average size woman, about 1,750.
Right.
So a good starting point when you're starting a weight loss plan is 1,500 calories per day. If you're too hungry or losing weight too fast, you can up it. And if you're not losing weight fast enough, you can lower that. But you shouldn't go below 1,200 calories per day.
A hamburger could be that much.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the scary part of all that.
And when you have food labels, it's easy because it tells you exactly how many calories. But a lot of the times we eat food, it doesn't come with labels. So I can show you a few tricks
Okay,
here.
now here's another thing. You don't want us to go below 1,200 calories a day.
Correct.
Because...
Well, when you go too low, it's just not sustainable. You might be too hungry. You might end up being, dizzy, not feeling well, and it might just trigger sugar cravings and
you
food
might
binges.
binge. So you won't stay on as long, because you and I have talked about that before.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about this table. What do you want us to know?
Okay, so if we don't have a food label, we can use some tricks to estimate how many calories are in the food we're eating. So the deck of cards, okay? So most of us are familiar with what a deck of cards looks like. So that's about a 3 to 4 ounce portion of protein. So for red meat and salmon, that would be about 200 calories. For white fish and chicken, that would be about 100 calories. And I was at the grocery store the other day, and boneless, skinless chicken breasts are now massive.
They are so big.
Massive. So a typical serving, if you eat that whole chicken breast, you might be taking in as many as like 300, 400 calories. Just go with half.
Right,
okay?
right.
Okay, a baseball. That's about a cup's portion. So cooked pasta, cooked rice, medium potato. Size of a baseball, which is about 200 calories as well. And then we get our handy,
You did this with me a couple of years ago, and I'm so disappointed. Wait till you hear this news. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the dice. Okay, so if you love cheese,
I
right?
do.
Yeah. So a lot of us love cheese. I mean, it's delicious, wine and cheese. So, yeah, so a pair of dice, this is a 1 ounce serving of cheese. That's not a lot, okay? And that's 100 calories. So if you have, most people have about 3-4 times that. That's 400 calories right there. And you have a glass or 2 of wine. That's another 200 calories. We're, yeah.
We just want to share this with you, okay?
Yes.
Just keep your eye on the die. Eye on the die. Okay, very good. Okay, next, fats. Important for us.
Yeah, so fat is the most calorie dense of all the macronutrients. It provides 9 calories per gram. However, it's important to include in your diet even when trying to lose weight.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, fat's important for healthy brain cells, healthy skin. It transports vitamins. We need it to synthesize sex hormones. But also, especially when dieting, fat keeps us full. So when we eat fat, it triggers the release of a hormone called cholecystokinin. That's a hormone that tells our brain that we're full, that we're not hungry anymore, so it's important. It also slows the absorption of sugar from carbohydrates into our bloodstream, so we don't get those sugar and insulin spikes.
No, that's good, yeah.
So a good diet should have about 20 to 30% fats, but not all fats created equal.
Okay.
So saturated fat. Okay, so saturated fat is typically the type of fat we find in animal foods. So dairy products like cream and cheese from cows, eggs from chickens, or any meat products contain saturated fat. It's okay to eat that, just don't eat it in abundance. Too much saturated fat in your diet can lead to high cholesterol, increase the risk of heart disease.
Yeah. So use it as a treat. If you're craving it, use it as a treat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, next we want to go to the healthier fats. So these are the monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. These tend to be the fats that come from plant-based foods and fish. So salmon or avocado, olives, nuts, seeds. Those are healthier fats. And one fat in particular, omega-3 fatty acids, which I'm sure you've all heard of, have anti-inflammatory effects, can help reduce the risk of heart disease. And we can get those from leafy greens, from salmon, and again, things like flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, and nuts.
So sprinkle them over, a salad or something like that.
Yeah, so these are the type of fats you want to have. Trans fats, those are the bad fats, okay? Those are synthetic fats that are typically found in shelf-stable processed foods or in battered foods.
Yeah.
You want to try to stay away from those. Those do not have any health benefits.
Okay, what's going on over here?
Here we are getting to protein, okay? So protein's a very important macronutrient also. It provides 4 calories per gram, and it's filling. So protein has a complex molecular structure, so it's hard for our body to break it down. And as a result, we actually burn some calories when we eat protein, and it keeps us full.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people ask me, well, how much protein do I need in a day?
Yeah.
And a good rule of thumb is 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. If you're more active, you can go up to 2 grams per kilogram. So to give you an idea what that is, so for an 150-pound woman, that's about 70 to 150 grams per day of
And how does that
protein.
translate into...
Okay, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so a chicken
You're
breast.
so scientific.
Yeah. Okay, exactly. That's the problem with these numbers. So what does that look like? So an average chicken breast, like a 3 to 4 ounce portion, gives you 25 grams. Which is a lot.
That's that small chicken breast we were talking about.
Yeah, that's 25 grams right there.
Yes.
Greek yogurt, a small container of Greek yogurt, you get 10 to 15 grams. An egg has 6 grams.
Is this what you mean? This is a good portion for Greek yogurt?
That's a good portion of Greek yogurt. Actually, that's
I know
probably
you
what
eat
that
the
food
tub.
label is. No.
I know you want to eat the tub. Okay, but that's the small.
So if you eat animal products, it's pretty easy to get your protein requirements in a day. If you're a vegan, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yes.
Then you get your protein from tofu and from beans and legumes and nuts and seeds. So a lot of people ask me, well, do I need to use protein powders or do I need to eat protein bars? And I don't think so. If you eat a well-balanced diet, you should be able to meet your protein requirements on your own. A lot of protein bars, a lot of protein powders have a lot of chemicals. They can have fake sugars, and sometimes they just have too many calories.
Yeah.
So almonds, if you want a snack, or a banana with almond butter.
Okay, good. Then the last thing is, don't leave carbs out.
Yeah, we need carbs.
We do need carbs, yeah.
So carbs are important. If your diet's too low in carbs, you can feel depressed, you can feel hungry.
Yeah.
You can feel dizzy and shaky, and it can lead to sugar binges.
Right.
So your average diet, a good diet should be about 50 to 60% carbohydrates. Okay.
So at every meal, you should have a little carbohydrate to go along with that.
Yeah, and carbohydrates are in everything.
Yeah.
Carbohydrates are in fruits, vegetables, dairy, starch, cereals, potato, rice, dessert. So they're everywhere. That's why they're so easy to overeat. Right. So when you're eating carbohydrates, here's some good rules.
We've got 1 minute for this table, so let's do it. Yeah.
Portions. So no more than 200 calories of starch at a meal or snack. So what does that look like? 2 pieces of bread, a cup of rice, 1 potato, a cup of cooked pasta. Next, combinations. When you eat carbs, mix them with protein or fat. That will slow the digestion and the absorption of the sugar into your bloodstream. So if you're going to do pasta, a little olive oil, a little bit of cheese. If you're going to do a potato, with a chicken breast. Okay? Yeah. And thus, try to have high fiber sources of carbohydrates. So whole grain sources. But remember, even if you choose the brown rice or the brown bread, the calories still count. It doesn't mean it's a license to eat as much as you want.
Calories still count.
Yes.
And how many times do you want us to eat during the day?
5 times. So 3 meals and up to 2 snacks.
Okay, and when you wake up in the morning, within the first half hour, you're a believer of have breakfast?
Yeah, I think breakfast is a good start to your day.
Yeah,
for sure. It will prevent you from overeating later in the day. And,
Okay, boy, how many had breakfast this morning? Okay. See, that's why you came to this show. We're very happy to have. Thank you for this.
Okay, no
That's great.
problem.
That's 101. Looking at those labels with Melissa Hershberg. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Yeah.